Hello, my dear students. Today we will be going to learn the third part of current electricity chapter. We have already done the previous two parts. This part consists of resistance in parallel and resistance in series. Before moving on to that, let us do a small revision. So, in this revision, we will be just revising the previous part which we have already taken. So, let us start. Potential difference of the cell. The potential difference of the cell is a difference in potential in both the terminals of the cell, that is positive and negative terminal. The SI unit for potential difference is 1 volt or volt. 1 volt will be there if 1 joule upon 1 coulomb is there, that is the work done will be 1 joule for moving 1 coulomb of charge from one potential to another potential. So the work done upon the charge will be the potential difference. The unit of potential difference in SI system is volt. Next is electric current. This flow of electrons through a conductor is nothing but electric current, but the flow should be in the condition of I equal to Q by T, where the charge flow per unit time will be considered as electric current. The unit of electric current will be ampere. 1 ampere of current will be flown if 1 coulomb of charge is passed through that in 1 second, that is 1 ampere. Next is resistance. What is a resistance? The resistance is opposition provided by the movement by the atoms in a conductor to the free electrons. As I already told you, the movement of free electrons, the movement of electrons will give you electric current. So these free electrons, when they are moving, the opposition provided by the atom inside that conductor is known as resistance. Here, when the physical state of a conductor remains constant, the current flowing through the conductor will be directly proportional to the potential difference applied across the two ends. So this proportionality sign can be converted into equality sign by introduction of one constant. That constant is nothing but resistance of the conductor. Here we represent it as R. So V equal to IR. So this is nothing but Ohm's law. Over here V equal to IR. The SI unit of resistance will remain Ohm. So what is the resistance? The resistance is nothing but the opposition provided by the atoms to the free electrons. So 1 volt upon 1 ampere will give you 1 ohm. What is 1 ohm resistance? If 1 ampere of current flow through a conductor when 1 volt of potential difference applied between it ends, the resistance of the conductor can said to be 1 ohm. The next which we are going to learn is about resistivity. A small revision. Resistivity is nothing but resistance per unit length. When a current flow through a conductor, the length of the conductor matters, the area of cross section of the conductor matter, the material used for the conduction is also matter. So here the resistance of a conductor depends upon the length, directly inversely proportional to area. So that is, resistance is directly proportional to length, resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. So when you just combine these two equations, we get a proportionality sign which represents this. When the proportionality sign is converted into equality sign, we get a constant which is known as a rho. Rho is nothing but resistivity of a particular conductor. That is, rho is resistivity of the material, resistance per unit length of a material. The SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. So here we have got resistivity of different materials, copper, nickel, and diamond. Next is electric circuit. Circuit means to complete a circle. A continuous path of electric current through a conducting wire connected to ends of the cell, and resistance and other electrical components is provided to it. We can say it as an electric circuit. which we have already explained in detail in the previous class. So let us, before beginning the resistance in parallel and series, let us go through some numerical problems. The first example, resistance of the bulb having with filament with having resistance 1000 ohms. We have to find out the current flowing through it if potential difference is 230 volt. Here simply we apply Ohm's law to understand the sum. Resistance is 1000 ohm, voltage is 230 volt, and we can apply this Ohm's law over here. I will be equal to, substituting the value, you get 0.23 ampere. So when this is the condition, that is 1000 ohm and potential difference is 230 volt, the current flowing through the bulb will be 0.23 ampere. Next is example number 2. Length of a conducting wire is 50 centimeter and its radius is 0.5 millimeter. If it has resistance 30 ohm, what will be the resistivity? Remember, resistance is already given. We have to find out the resistivity. Resistance and resistivity both are different. Resistivity is resistance per unit length. Ohm meter will be its unit. So let us start the sum. Length is 50 centimeter. If it is centimeter, we have to make it in SI unit. That is, we have to convert centimeter into meter. 50 into 10 raised to minus 2 will give you this entire value in meter. You have to multiply 10 raised to minus 2 to convert any value centimeter to meter. Now here it is millimeter, 0.5 millimeter. In order to convert millimeter into meter, you have to multiply it with 10 raised to minus 3. The resistance already there, 30 ohm. The resistivity formula, which we have already learned, rho equal to RA by L. A here is area. Area we will get using this radius. Area is pi r square. Remember students, pi r square is area of a circle. Since we are representing here a wire, we just consider the area of cross section will be circle only. Applying this formula over here, substituting all these values, r is 30, pi is 3.14, r square will be 5 into 10 raised to minus 4 square upon L, that is 15 10 raised to minus 2. When you solve mathematically, you will get this value, 4.71 into 10 raised to minus 5 ohm meter will be the resistivity of the material. One more example I would like to show it to you. Determine the current that flow when a potential difference of 33 volt is applied between two ends of appliances having resistance 110 ohm. If the same current is flown through a appliances having resistance 500 ohm, how much potential difference should be applied across two ends? That is what the next sum is all about. So we have got two cases over here. In first case, where we have to find out the current flowing through the appliances in condition of 33 volt and 110 resistance. The second case, same current, that is the current which we have find out, same current is flown through a resistance having 500 ohm. What will be the potential difference? So let us find out. So here the voltage is 33 volt, resistance is 110. Simply applying Ohm's law, you will get this 0.3 ampere. In the second case, all the details are there, the data are here, 0.3 ampere, 500 ohms. Simply applying potential, this Ohm's law, we will get the potential difference over here, that is 150 volt. Hope you understood this sums. One more interesting sum I would like to share with you. Determine the resistance of the copper wire having length 1 kilometer. Remember, always, whether it is meter, millimeter or centimeter or kilometer, you have to convert all that into meter, because meter is SI unit of calculation, and diameter will be 0.5 mm. So we got a wire of 1 kilometer and diameter of 0.5 millimeter. The resistivity of the copper is also you have is given over here. As I told you, resistivity of material is different for different materials. So resistivity is already given. Converting this length of 1 kilometer into meter, just simply multiplied with 10 raised to minus 10 raised to 3, you will get converted into meter. Okay, 1 kilometer is 1000 meter is equal to 1 kilometer. Everybody know this. Diameter will be 0.5 millimeter, 0.5 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter, like in the previous sum. If r is the radius, just finding out the area, we got the radius. That's why we can find out the area also. Remember, my dear students, here it is diameter given. The diameter, we have to find out the radius. The radius will be half of the diameter. That's why d by 2 square. Putting all this value over here, we get this as our area. Now applying this formula, r equal to rho L by A, we'll get this value as 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 8 into 10 raised to 3 upon 0.2 into 10 raised to 6. Ultimately, we get this 85 ohm as the answer for the sum. The next part which we are going to discuss in this chapter is resistance in series. Students, you have to learn this entire derivation as it is, including the diagram. You have to write it, even we asking you in exam. The 3 resistors are there in this diagram: R1, R2, R3. So these resistors are connecting side by side. When this type of arrangement is there, we call them as series. Remember, when resistance or resistors are in series, the potential difference will be separate at ends of these 2 resistors. That is, the potential difference across R1 will be V1. Potential difference across R2 will be V2. Potential difference across R3 will be V3. Here the current will remain common, but the potential difference will be individually and separated for all these 3 resistors, R1, R2 and R3. The total potential difference will be V. Then the entire thing will be V1, V2 plus V3. If R is the resistance, provided, that is effective resistance, then we can say the total resistance. We have to find it out. The potential difference can be considered with this formula, which is Ohm's law, V equal to IR. Here the RS represents resistance in series. Now, for individual potential difference, that is V1, V2, V3, we can use this formula. So we did that. V1 equal to I in IR1. I told you I will remain same for all the resistors. Substituting this entire equation in equation number 1, V will be remain IRS, V1 will be IR1, V2 will be IR2, V3 will be IR3. The I will get cancelled. We will take it as common and we'll cancel it. The remaining part is RS, that is effective resistance in series, will be sum of the resistance of the resistors. Okay, R1, R2, R3. So if they are connected in series, we will just add up the resistors, add up and find out the resistance. If there are n number of series, this will be the formula RS equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3 up to Rn. I hope you understood this part very much clearly. So let us move on to a sum, which will make you understand much more. So this sum, we have got two resistors in series. There is a sum in your textbook which simply tell you to add the resistors and find out the effective resistance in series. So I'm not doing that. It's very simple to understand. This is a difficult one. This is a tricky one. Let us go for this. So two resistors having resistance 16 ohm and 14 ohm are connected in series. So when you hear the word series, you just add the resistance. 16 plus 14, you'll get 30. Okay. Next part of the question is, if a potential difference of 18 volt is applied across them, calculate the current flowing through it. So it is calculate the current means obviously we have to calculate the current which is in between point A and point B, suppose, and in between we have got these two resistors with a 16 ohm and 14 ohm as resistance. So the effective resistance will be 30 because we are summing it up 30 ohm. Let the current flowing through will be I, and the potential difference flowing through will be each in individual resistors. That is, the potential difference across 16 ohm will be V1. The potential difference across 14 ohm resistors will be V2. Remember, we have already learned in the previous part of this video, the potential difference across each resistor will be separated if they are connected in series. So since it is in series, the potential difference will be separated. Using the Ohm's law, same applying over here, the total potential will be V1 plus V2, that is 18 volt, which already given over here. We have to find out the potential difference across individual resistors. Remember, total potential is given, but individual, what will be the potential? Individually, what will be the potential across each resistor, which we have to find out. So our first task is to find out the current. Simply doing the Ohm's law, we will get the current as 0.6 ampere. Now we can use this current to find out individual potential difference. So we have done that. V1 equal to IR1, V2 equal to IR2. Applied the formula, we got 9.6 volt and 8.4 volt accordingly. When you add this together, what you will get? You will get nothing but you will get 18 volt. So understood, the current flowing through circuit will be will be 0.6 amp, and the potential difference individually will be 9.6 volt and 8.4 volt respectively. So let us go into the next part of the chapter, that is resistors in parallel. So we have done with the resistance series. Now we have to move on with the resistors in parallel condition. So students, I want you to look into this figure. Previously we had resistors connected one side by another, that is side by side. Here it is connected like top, where we can say that there is a common terminal for this and this. See, this is a common terminal for this. They are not separated side by side, they are connected as in parallel condition. So this type of connection is known as parallel. You have to remember, in series condition we have got individual potential difference across each resistors. Here we have got individual current across each resistors. So in series, potential difference will be individually across each resistors. In parallel, current will be individually there across each resistors. In series, voltage was individually there, and in parallel it is current. So in series the current was common, in parallel voltage will be common. We won't have V1, V2, V3. So let us start the sum. Here we have got resistors R1, R2 and R3 connected in parallel, and the current across each resistors will be I1, I2 and I3. The total current flowing through can be given as I equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. This will be our basic equation. Rp will be resistance in parallel representation. Now I will be equal to V upon Rp. This is Ohm's law. Here Rp stands for resistance in parallel. Similarly, we can use this formula individually for each current, each resistance current across these resistors. Current across each resistors. So I1, I2 and I3 will be given as V1 upon R1. I2 will be given as V1 upon R2. I3 will be given as V upon R3. It's not V1, V2, V3. It's V upon R1, V upon R2, V upon R3. Substituting this equation in equation number 1, we will get this value. This will be the representation over here, where V will be taken common, it will get cancelled. Whatever is remaining will be the equation for the condition resistors in parallel. So 1 upon Rp will be the total resistance, that is the effective resistance when resistors are in parallel. Then it will be 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So if n resistors are connected in parallel, this will be the condition. So I hope you understood this part. Let us move on to a sum which will make you understand in much more good level. Resistors having 15, 20 and 10 ohms are connected in parallel. As you say, in parallel you are not supposed to add them as in series. You have to add them in with the particular formula over here, which is already provided with respect to this. When you add this in this way, you can use a LCM method, or you can take common. Again, cross multiplication also can be done, or LCM method in mathematics can also be used to find out the effective resistance in parallel condition. Here it is 4.615 ohm. One more example I would like to share with you. It is a tricky one. 3 resistors having resistance 5, 10 and 30 ohm are connected in parallel. The potential difference across each will be 12. Not each, actual potential difference throughout, since in parallel condition we don't have individual potential difference. The potential difference will be 12 volt applied across them. Obtain the current flowing through individual resistors. That is, at end of each resistors, what will be the individual current which we have to find out. So the effective resistance in the circuit, and okay, we have to find out the total effective resistance also, as well as we have to find out individual current also. So let us start. Simply applying Ohm's law over here, we will get individual current across each resistors. So 12 volt is common. R1 is already given, that is 5. R2 is 10 and R3 is 30. Accordingly, you will get the value of 2.4 ampere, 1.2 ampere and 0.4 ampere. So total current can be easily added. The total current will be 4 ampere. Now since we got the total current, we can easily find out the resistors also. So no need of this this current. Since we have asked, we have to find out. So what is the effective resistance of the current? What is the effective resistance in the circuit? Will be applying using this formula. We'll get this applying using this formula. Using the LCM method, you get 1/3. So the effective resistance circuit is 3. 1 upon Rp so equal to 1 upon 3. Rp equal to 3. Very carefully you have to do this calculation. There is a lot of chance you make lot of mistakes. So very carefully, always remember it is 1 upon Rp. Always remember it is 1 upon Rp. The total current flowing through the circuit will be 4 ampere. I hope you understood this part of this chapter. Go through all these 3 parts of the chapter. We will be also providing you with the assignments. You will be able to understand it properly. Go through it thoroughly. If you have any doubt, just put a comment below. We will try to resolve it. Thank you, my dear students. Take care.